Hello everyone, Feed here with a Battle Brother video. Today I want to talk about the early game. I get asked about this a lot by new players. What to do when I start a game, what to do early on, so here's my answer. I consider the early game the first 20 to 30 days. And what I want to do in this window of time is to make a team as strong as I possibly can. In order to build a strong team, you need these three things: Renown, money, and brothers. You want to build up these three resources. A strong team have a lot of these, a weak team have little. Today I will talk about Renown, why you need it and how to get it. Alright, so what exactly is Renown? It is simply just a number displayed over here in the Show Faction and Relation tab. The game says that the more Renown you have, the more reward you will get from contract, and the harder the contracts will be. That may sound sketchy at first, but hear me out. First of all, the scaling is very smooth, so you will barely notice the difference. Overall, Renown is nothing but beneficial to you. Okay, so Renown is very good, but how do you get more of it? You can gain Renown in a few different ways. You get 5 for winning a fight against random things walking around the map, be it some Naxxramas, some raiders, or even a huge noble house army. You get 15 for taking out a camp no matter how big or small it is. You gain 25 for completing a contract. 1 skull, 3 skulls, doesn't matter. Note that if the contract involves taking out a camp, you will still gain the 15 for the camp and the 25 for the contract. And lastly, completing an ambition awards you 100. This will be the fastest way to gain Renown early on. Do keep in mind that you lose 2 Renown every day. It can't be helped, but it's very manageable. But if you retreat from combat, you will lose 15 Renown. If you complete a contract poorly, you will lose 25 Renown. Failing a contract will lose you 75, and cancelling a contract will lose you 100. So obviously, don't do those. Alright, now that you know how to gain and how to not lose Renown, I want you to remember this exact number: 1050. This is the amount needed to complete the professional ambition, which allows you to do noble house contracts. These contracts are different from the ones you find in small towns. They are oftentimes harder, but the pay is much better in return. When you start a campaign, depending on the origin, you usually have 0 to 100 Renown. You want to get to 1050 as fast as possible to get access to these noble house contracts. I always aim to get to professional in 20 days. Some origins have an easier time, some have a harder time. Depending on luck and a few other factors, you may be a few days early or a few days late. What you want to do is to plan out your ambitions and do as many contracts as you can in order to maximize your Renown gain. This means whenever you start a campaign, look for a base of operation, a group of small villages and trade towns connected together, preferably in the south. Why south? Because it's where the brigands are. They are easy to fight and provide you with all kinds of equipment that you need. You don't want to fight barbarians or goblins or orc early on now, do you? Once you find this area, start questing like crazy. Show everyone that you are the hardest working mercenary company out there. Wherever you are at, do all the contracts before you go to the next. Following tracks, disappearing villagers, scouting locations, clearing cemeteries. Make sure the town is clean before you leave. There are also tons of deliver cargo and escort caravan contract early on, so kind of incorporate them into your traveling. You will undoubtedly run into some enemy patrol groups along the way. Make sure you take them down. Extra loot and Renown is always good. Just don't get too distracted by them. If you see 3 dire wolves running too far off-road or a band of brigands hunter crossing a mountain range, just let them go. You have better things to do. Gaining Renown by doing contract is very straightforward. Let's talk ambitions. You will be offered your first ambition around day 3 or 4. I always take the friendly ambition, the one that you need to get into friendly relation with a town. You just need to do 3 contracts for a town and they will become friendly with you. I don't recommend taking the 12 brothers ambition this early, since you have neither the money nor equipment to support them anyway. You should be able to complete the friendly ambition before day 10. When the second ambition shows up, you should have 3 options: 12 brothers, buying the banner, or winning against 12 enemies. 12 enemies in a single fight is hard to find and hard to do at this point, so don't take it. You have 3 choices left. If you already have 8 or 9 brothers in your team, you can buy a few cheap bros just to complete the ambition. After it is done, you can get rid of the brothers if supporting 12 is too much for you. If you prefer to build up your team slowly and or have close to 2k gold, take the banner. Whichever is faster to do, take it. After the second ambition, you will be offered 4 choices: banner or 12 brothers, whichever you haven't done, win against 12 enemies, discover and destroy a camp, and lastly, visit all settlements on the map. Avoid the last one because it takes a long time to visit every town and you don't want to be away from your questing hub. As your third ambition, you should get to 12 brothers or buy the banner, whichever you didn't do earlier. After completing the third ambition, the professional ambition will be available. But don't take it just yet. You probably only have around 5 to 600 renown at this point. Destroy a camp and win against 12 can be your 4th and 5th ambition. Usually if I find a small easy camp early on, after day 15 the sergeant ambition will be available, and you will need a brother with the rally the troops perk to complete it. If you have a bannerman, make sure you give him rally the troops at level 4. If you don't have one at this point, you can give a random bro rally the troops, just to get the ambition done. Around this time, day 15 or so, you should check your renown regularly. If your renown is 900 or higher, you should take the professional ambition the next time it is offered. You will have to do around 5, sometimes 6 ambition to get to this point, and there are only 6 reasonable ambitions to choose from early on. And work your way toward 1050 by doing contracts and killing things. If you plan your ambitions and your contracts well, you will get to professional in 20 days very naturally. After that, you can start doing noble house contracts and heading out to other areas. After this point, renown becomes a lot less important. You will rack up more and more simply by playing the game. In general, renown gives you money. And in doing contracts, you increase the relation with towns, which gives you various benefits. Ambitions early on gives you tons of mood boost, and later on awards you many useful upgrades for your team, such as extra inventory space, undead orc and goblin trophies, and that's about it actually. I guess after the early game, renown and ambitions aren't that important anymore. Instead, you should shift more of your attentions to building your brothers and making money. We will talk about that in the next video. That's everything about the importance of renown in the early game and how to get to professional as fast as possible. I hope this video has helped you. Thanks to everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.